Kazan Koloma Stadium here in Charleston, the eastern part of Lusaka, to those that are traveling to Malawi and different parts of the eastern part of the country. It's Lusaka's home team, Red Arrows, that will be entertaining Kafue Celtic in 14 brought forward a match, a fixture that you will see actually the home side taking the stubborn Kafue Celtic. The fans have come in numbers, of course, those for Red Arrows as well as Kafue Celtic, as we would do see the two teams making their way onto the field of play. Of course, Red Arrows in their traditional attire in red, as well as Kafue Celtic in a crocodile graft jersey, green and white. I'm your main match commentator that will be taking you through the entire proceeding this afternoon. Of course, you are catching this match live on your #1 online sports channel, Smart TV Sports channel. With me on the commentary box is Steve and Raphael, the two gentlemen who will be helping you and I analyze different acts of the players this afternoon as the game will actually proceed. Steve, welcome and good afternoon.
Good afternoon, BMJ. Thank you so much for welcoming me this afternoon here at Nkoloma Stadium, where Red Arrows is taking on Celtic. It is going to be an interesting game, an encounter that is going to bring a lot of entertainment, and I'm sure the fans that have come here are not going to regret having come all the way from their beautiful homes to come and witness this wonderful, wonderful game.
And alongside him is Raphael, who will also be helping you, our dear viewers, as well as those that are around here, just to give us those experts analysis. Raphael, good afternoon and welcome to this afternoon encounter.
Thank you so much, BMJ. It's always good to be here. Bola Yapa Zedi, we all need to love it. Looking forward to having yet another entertaining match this afternoon.
And of course, going through the names of players that have been given the assignment to actually execute different duties on the field of play this afternoon. For the home side, Red Arrows, the starting 11 rather looks like follows. Kalumba Charles in jersey number 16. In jersey number 4, it will be Chiteta Kwaliwota, as well as in jersey number 30, it Kebison Kamanga. Bisong Elvis in jersey number 3, Shiwawa Yambayamba Trezor in jersey number 5, as well as Simba Yambaya George in jersey number 8. Jersey number 14 is Kafue Felix. Jersey number 12, George Mandu. Jersey number 25 is Ricky Banda. Jersey number 30 is Saddam Yusuf Piri. And jersey number 10 is Piri Joseph. That completes the starting 11 for Red Arrows. And of course, those who be hoping to make their ways later on in this game on the substitute bench, we do have Mumba Kenny, Mubiri Nixon, as well as Simwanza Francis, not forgetting Tembo Edward, as well as Miti Abel, also Kayembe Alido, and last not the least, James Chamanga. Interestingly to note that James Chamanga today starts on the bench, obviously reserving some energy in him for the forthcoming CAF Confederations Cup encounter. Steve, quickly take us through on the lineup, the starting 11 as well as the substitute bench for the visiting sides, Kafir Celtic.
Thank you so much, BMJ. In between the sticks for Kafir Celtic is Clement Kasongo, Brian Chilimina, Emmanuel Chivesa, John Sala, Richard Daka, Thomas Zulu, Albert Sampa, Justin Daka, Albert Kamwanga, Mwizam Simwala, Peter Chilokola, completing the first 11. On the bench is Kasanda Katana, Caleb Siamangwanjo, Andrew Moyo, Waliatembo, Christopher Piri, Umulo Siangwa, as well as Elimi Banda, BMJ.
Obviously, looking at the two lineups, we should be able to tell something. Gentlemen, Raphael, what do you make of the two lineups, looking at the players that have been assigned to do the nitty-gritties on the pitch this afternoon?
And when you look at Red Arrow's side, they have quite a lot of experienced players, and of course, most of them are being talented. They have quality, so to say. So when you look at the lineup that has been put up this afternoon for Red Arrows, they've made a change in between the sticks, bringing in Charles Kalumba, of course, formerly of Prison Leopards. He possesses that quality that each and every coach would require in a goalkeeper, and of course, already getting Kenny Mumba to the bench. So basically, Red Arrows, they have quality, and we should be looking forward to them actually putting up some good performances. The likes of George Mandu in the middle of the park. Very brilliant midfielder, if you ask me.
Very good build-up from the two teams, and already the game has started, and it's Kafue Celtic who pumped the ball to the left, but too much there as the ball goes out for a throw-in in favor of Red Arrows. The two teams are coming into this particular encounter with different records. With Kafue Celtic in their last fixtures, they've only been able to win 2, draw 2, as well as actually losing 2 and drawing 1. Really some sort of a fair and average outing for the visiting side in Kafue Celtic. So Red Arrows with early intention to actually pump more pressure on the visiting side. It will be interesting to find out and know how Red Arrows will be able to apply themselves this afternoon after a string of poor performances. The last time they were here, they hosted a Kitwe outfit in Power Dynamos, a game that ended 1 apiece. Steve.
Yeah, that game ended in 1 apiece, where George Mandu actually had a standover goal against our Yellow Babsaka, the Kitwe Giants. So this time around, we are going to see what Red Arrows has against the young Crocodiles in Kafue Celtic.
Indeed, they're not an easy side to face Kafue Celtic. They've been thrown as Red Arrows launch an attack with a cross comes in. It's a goal for Red Arrows. He could not believe it. Only after he saw the ball shaking the net there. Red Arrows have taken the lead just 3 minutes into this afternoon encounter. Just when we were talking of the good things and how stubborn Kafue Celtic has been on the giants over this first MTN league, Rick Banda had other ideas, and Banda has put Red Arrows in the lead. Raphael.
A very good start for Red Arrows. You see, this is what is needed for the host side to actually capitalize and make good use of the home ground advantage. So even as you can see, their fans are just drumming up support. This was only expected, and looking forward to having yet another good performance. But we also can throw out Kafir Celtics. They should be able to counter, but we only have 90 minutes.
Steve, obviously a goal that has come out of nowhere, least expected. Nevertheless, it's a goal.
Well, what a beautiful goal by Ricky Banda. A very good crosser came from Kwalubo Touchdata. I told you about this player way before the game started. When I saw him on the lineup, I told you that the player who is fighting for this position with Kwalubo to talk about, Benedict Chapeshi, the captain of Red Arrows Football Club. That cross was so superb, and there was no way Ricky Banda was going to fail to connect that ball, Brand. What a beautiful goal in 3 minutes.
Now it's a Kafue Celtic with an attack. It's a short, a missed kick there. Stu Danger lives on for Red Arrows. Of course, hands raised, the referee says plays on. And Ioke is the first assistant referee there. A moment of threat on the Red Arrows side. Steve.
Yeah, quite a lot of interesting stuff this afternoon. You can see how Celtic are really wanting to fight back, and of course, answer the question that Red Arrows has asked in 3 minutes. And so that was a very beautiful attack. But hey, Red Arrows were equal to the task. They made sure that they cleared their lines, and so far they are not in any danger.
So far, not in any danger. Also, good to note that the likes of Prosper Chiluya are not part of this particular Red Arrows squad, as they were part of the national team yesterday, and will be actually still in camp. They actually still in camp because they'll be traveling to Tunisia, as well as Benedict Chepeshi. Obviously, their position being well covered there by the likes of Chiteta, Kwalubota on the right there, and of course on the left. So a little bit of a concern there for Red Arrows. We hope that it's not something much, something serious, as coach Chisi Mbewe having a mini conference with Saddam Yusuf Piri. So already this gentleman proves to be an interesting encounter, because obviously we do expect Kafir Celtic to come with their lungs out, as Ricky Banda is brought down, the goal scorer. So Kafir Celtic now not holding to possession for long. Good display of skill there by Joseph Piri. It's another opportunity for Red Arrows, but too much there. Yes, a dummy, cross whipped in, header, handball. What's the referee saying there, gentlemen?
Not a handball if you ask me, but a good display, a good interchange of passes by the Red Arrows side. And it's also good to note that Ricky Banda, who is making his start ahead of James Chamanga, actually getting his first for the season, if I'm not mistaken, is something that should actually motivate him to push more and ensure that his team actually does collect maximum points, because they are equally sitting on 15th position, lying deep waters of relegation. So it's not good for a team which is actually representing the nation at this particular stage.
Not a good position indeed, as the coach earlier indicated on the pre-match interview that we had with him, that really it's a challenge when a team is participating in the CAF Confederation and the CAF games, so to say, as well as the league. You need to have strong-minded players that ready to sacrifice and die for anything, Steve.
Yeah, exactly. They've not started very well, but like we've always said, Red Arrows is such a very big team that has all the chances, to work on themselves and to see to it that they begin to win games, so that they are back, in the CAF zone, CAF playing zone, talking of the top four. This is very possible. We still have a very, very, very long way to go, Brian. And look at the way Red Arrows is playing. So entertaining, so enterprising. They're able to, if they can win this game, win another and win the next 3-4 games, they'll be good to go.
Yes, they'll be good to go. That was Kangwanda. Kangwanda with the ball. Once again, obviously, hoping to find striking partner. It's a deadly ball. Side netting there. Not something much to threaten the Red Arrows goalkeeper, Kalumba Charles. Red Arrows who starts from behind, hoping to build a play in a tic-tac kind of play. But playing with fire there.
Yeah, Charles Kalumba trying to build a play, starting from the back. But you see, these young folks and Kaffir Celtics, they are equally much more determined and ensuring that they make the goalkeeper uncomfortable. And in the end, he ended up pumping the ball forward.
Gentlemen, we haven't talked of the formation of the two sides Steve, for the sake of our viewers who might not really understand what is going on, you do us a favor by helping us with the formation Red Arrows is using, and then Flex will come in with that of Kafue Celtic.
Well, talking about the home side in Red Arrows Football Club, I am seeing you that Red Arrows using the common modern formation in 4-3-3. Talk of I'm seeing Capson Kamanga, Chiteta, Shibwabwa, as well as Bisong being in the back four, and on the middle of the pack they are using 3 players in my favorite George Simbayambaya, Saddam Piri, and of course I'm seeing George Mandu, who is also a part of the midfield, and then up front also there are 3 players in Joseph Piri, Felix Abulaya, and of course Rick Banda, the goal scorer.
So talking of young Crocs, as you can see, it's a 4-4-2 formation where Brian Chilimina is leading the back line with 3 other players, and also we can see Thomas Zulu orchestrating in the middle of the pack to ensure that Peter Chikola, together with his fellow striker in Albert Deadly Kangwanda, is supplied with some good balls. So basically, young Crocs is determined, and when they are trying to defend, they're actually tracking back in numbers to ensure no loopholes are left behind, despite them having conceded 8.
Yes, that was a corner for Kafue Celtic, and they do win another corner that will be taken by Sampa Albert, really pressuring and pressing on Red Arrows. Corner comes in. Well, Kukam and collected there Charles Karumba. Again, is looking to start the ball from behind. It's interesting to note the confidence of this Red Arrows defense, who are always determined to start the ball from behind, obviously showing no pressure there. It's Kafue Celtic who launch an attack. Seems to be out of ideas there. Chiseba. Still Kafue Celtic in control of possession. Foul says the second assistant referee. But obviously Kafue Celtic being in a hurry to come back into this game. Couldn't really hear the referee's whistle there. And Kafue Celtic, a team that cannot be written off so easily, we can always come up with surprises. I saw them against Lusaka Dynamos the other week. A goal down, but they had to come back, winning a penalty and equalize. Wow. The game was kind of a little bit slowed down, Steve, in the last 2-3 minutes or so.
Yeah, the game was slowed down, but you see, Brian, what is very important to notice that the game has become so physical. But here it's Bulaya who goes forward
with a cross, Banda with a header. He saw a screaming headline there. It almost counted for a second for Ricky Banda this afternoon. A good actually cover up for James Chamanga Raphael.
A good cover-up indeed, but when you look at Red Arrows, they seem to be operating more on the right flank where there is Felix Bulaya, a wing wizard, and this is one player which young Crocs are supposed to be wary of. They need to ensure that no space is left for him because he possesses that combative pace up front.
Indeed, a player that should be looked for in the way he makes his runs and everything. Kaffir Celtic leaving a lot of spaces on the middle of the park. That gives Red Arrows a lot more of chances to run around and find easy passes amongst themselves. Clement Kasongo pumps the ball forward. Foul, says the referee. So this game is brought to you live by Smart Sports channel, your number one sports TV. Remember to like our page as well as share our live broadcast. It's only 16 minutes into the first half. Of course, Red Arrows leading by a goal to nil as Kafue Celtic launch an attack. Honestly, under Albert Kangwanda, of all players, gentlemen, could let go of that ball that easily. It's Brian Chilimba is trying to find his way into the 18-yard box for Red Arrows, but was well checked by the likes of Trezor Shiwa, the Congolese born defender. Wow, what a nasty foul there by so the first yellow card of the match given to Chiteta, Steve's favorite.
Well, he's quite a very good player for Red Arrows. Though my favorite is George Simbayambaya, the captain of the side this afternoon. And on the other hand, I have Thomas Zulu, just number 5 for Kaffir Celtic, also doing very well. But you see, one thing that Kaffir Celtic is not doing very well is that there's Thomas Zulu, as well as the captain wearing just number 13 in Justin
Daka.
That is Justin Daka, of course, yes. These two are playing too deep, and that is why they're exposed in the middle of the park, because Red Arrows is more of attack and they are too defensive. Maybe that is the ongoing of the Kaffir Celtic young side.
Yes, they now have an opportunity to come back into this game with a free kick, whipped in a header. Free kick, not so sure of what could have happened there, and the medics have been called in by the referee. That looks like a very serious heads collision there by the two players from both sides, as Red Arrows and Kafue Celtic. So to talk over the two players that are not part of the Red Arrows encounter this afternoon, Prosper Chilwe and Benedict Chepeshi, how could that affect the team this afternoon, Raphael, if you were to add any impact in this and today's game? Yes, we are live on a smart TV, and these are the voices that you are hearing. You do well to actually like our page as well as share this live broadcast. I'm your match commentator, Brian Miller Jr., and Steve here, as well as Raphael on the other end. Enjoy our live streaming. Yes, Raphael.
So Benedict Chepeshi, the captain of the side for Red Arrows, is being highly missed, though yes, we understand he is a leader. But talking of exposure in terms of positioning. We have quite some good coverage in Kwalombo Tachiteta. Not forgetting the other flank where there is Kepson Kamanga. Equally much more experienced even compared to Prosper Chibia. But I mean, credit to Prosper. He's doing quite well. But Kepson Kamanga equally is going to put up some good performance.
Well, explained that there by Raphael. Obviously, the two players being with the national team. I remember yesterday the Zambia national soccer team trashed Mauritania by 4-0. Fashion Sakala scoring his first hat-trick. The first hat-trick for the national team, as well as the first hat-trick that the national team has recorded in 12 years. The last time the national team recorded a hat-trick, it was in 2009 when the legendary formerly of TP Mazembe, Given Singuruma, scored against Ivory Coast in the inaugural Chan tournament away in Ivory Coast. So we want to hope that the hat-trick by Fashion Sakala yesterday will actually bring us back to the winning ways. We hope so. Quite a number of Zambian players who have actually recorded hat-trick in the Zambian colors. So many to mention. The long run. So, gentlemen, what is it that Kaffir Celtic should be able to work on in their build-up of play, knowing that they are one goal down, and so far not really a bad side they look, Steve?
Yeah, they're not a bad side at all, Brian. What they have to do now is to calm down. You know, they should be very much patient. Their build-up is not very bad. All they need to do is to be patient. Look at that chance that they had. That was a very good and very clear chance that their main striker missed. So what they need to do is just to be patient and keep trying their best. Keep, creating those chances. Who knows? They might find the back of the net anytime soon. But again, they should worry of the right flank where Felix Blair is operating from, like Raphael had said earlier on. Felix Blair is such an enterprising and fast winger. Look at those, beautiful crosses that is bring forward. And this afternoon, it's good to see that Ricky Banda managed to convert one and also missed one clear chance. They have to worry about Felix Blair, because if they leave Felix Blair unmarked, they'll be punished yet again.
Felix Blair seems to be a threat of Kafue Celtic in as far as Red Arrows is concerned. Remember, Red Arrows will actually be up against Simba later on this month. So it's games like this that will actually give a picture of what kind of Red Arrows we do expect in the CAF competition. So far they've been good, beating Primero Agosto at home, drawing away that enabled them to qualify to the next round where they'll be facing Simba. But Simba has actually been dubbed as the toughest opponent for Red Arrows, but I'm here to remind you, gentlemen, that actually Simba lost to a team from Botswana, so that should give confidence to the Red Arrows side. So Simba might not be as the Lions we know. That should give some sort of courage. So back to play now. After the two players, of course, things not looking good for the Kafue Celtic player being taken to the ambulance. It's the first time I'm seeing the ambulance being called to rush a player to the hospital in so many years in Zambia. We won't hope our cameras can pick the ambulance there. A sad scene here at Nkoloma Stadium. As Ricky Banda with an attack, wow, too much for himself. The last time we saw this gentleman, it was during the European Championship, where Eriksson collapsed in the field of play, and the game was actually put to a halt for some good minutes, Raphael.
Yeah, it's something that should be worrying to us, but credit goes to the organizers. I mean, they made sure that we have an ambulance and these other necessities that are required before actually the match is started. So we can only wish the player the very best and quick recovery, of course. Not forgetting Trezor Shibwawa, who's also still being attended to by the host side medical team in Ndaba Situka, the doctor, and Farai Mutale, the team physio. So we can only wish both players the very best, and I'm sure Trezor Shibwawa should be able to continue.
All the best to the injured players, quick recovery, and we pray that they do actually remain in good condition. Back to the game now. It's Red Arrows with a build-up play from behind. Yusuf Adam to George. Pumps it forward, trying to find Ricky Banda, who has been the busiest of Red Arrows this afternoon, giving the reason obvious as to why he scored that goal. Making some strings of passes and switches, but bad communication there from the two players. Kafir Celtic with an attack there, Kangwanda hoping to find the likes of Kangwanda, too much overdoing it there in the 18-yard box, but it worked perfectly, but obviously not really to the pleasure of Joe Warrior, the coach there, gentlemen. Kangwanda doing it too much for himself when he was just supposed to release the ball easily.
Yes, Albert Kangwanda was supposed to have released the ball, but again, good dribbles coming from him, but I was expecting him to have laid the ball to Christopher Piri and Peter Chikola to actually capitalize on the rebound that was actually going to have come out.
Thomas Zulu with some enterprising of play there. Kangwanda held under the referee, who actually flashed a second yellow card. This time around, Red Arrows have actually accumulated 2 yellow cards, and this one has been given to Elvis, actually Kepson Kamanga. Brian Chilinda will take this free kick far from the goal mouth of Red Arrows. A long one. A boss to captain play, and it's an opportunity for what a shot, equally what a good save by Charles. What a missed opportunity, Steve.
What a missed opportunity indeed. But hey, credit goes to the goalkeeper. The goalkeeper was very, very much alert. What a save. That's a world-class save, Brian, if you ask me. That was a superb save.
It's Kafue Celtic with another attack. Really pushing hard and pressing harder on Red Arrows, this young Kafue side. We did say it's a stubborn side, and they are just proving to be. It looks like we've got an entertaining encounter this afternoon here at Nkoloma Stadium. Kafue Celtic with a corner. that was always rising, positioning himself very well, but the direction was poor.
What a free header that, Piri Christopher has missed. That was yours just alone and marked. He only needed to knock that ball behind the net. But I don't know where he got the pressure from, and he put that ball way behind the bar. That is not very good for Kafue Celtic, because really, if they have to come back to this game, they have to get that goal that they really desire.
It will only take those chances for Kafue Celtic to utilize. Otherwise, it will end up in tears, as it's commonly said by many, especially on social media. Red Arrows with Rick Banda. Let's see what happens with this attack. A crosser from the mid. But not well executed there.
So as we are seeing the action on the pitch, we can also hear the sound of an ambulance. That shows that the player is being attended to, and we only wish that the player being attended to all the best. But again, what a nice foul from one of my favorite players, from Red Arrows, it is George Simbayambaya. For me, that foul deserves or attracts a yellow card, no doubt about it. But hey, let's wait and see what the referee is going to say. The referee is very much lenient on Red Arrows captain, the vice captain in George Simbayambaya. I think he deserved a punishment. But hey, the referee knows better than we do.
And see, I wonder why this match is actually turning out to be very physical, because most players are playing out their frustrations. But I love the way young crooks in Kafir Celtic are now getting much more coordinated, and of course turning this match very much lively this afternoon at Nkoloma Stadium, even as we have already seen 31 minutes of play.
Slowly marching to half-time. Red Arrows leading here at Nkoloma Stadium in Lusaka. And of course, they are not having easy. As we've seen, Trezor Shiwa were back into the field of play, wrapped with bandage around his head, which is a good thing, but not really good news coming out of the Kafue injured player. As we heard the sound of an ambulance taking him to the hospital. But it's Red Arrows now with an attack. Skepson back to Ricky Banda. A cross comes in. Goalkeeper Kasongo will collect that one very easily. Wow. There's Anbo, but sure the referee did see that one. Ashiwawa on the left, trying to find Ricky Banda. It's a crosser, but too much. Good build up, but a poor finishing, as it may be said, gentlemen.
Poor finishing indeed, but I love the overlapping coming from Trezor Shiwa, just number 5 for Red Arrows. Despite him having had a head injury, but he still has the zeal to actually push forward and find spaces for the strikers. But well kept on Manga sending the ball wide and of course over the bar, even when he had 3 to 4 red shirts waiting in the 18-yard box.
This is where Captain Kabanga should work very hard. Prosper Chiluya is not in the team. Prosper Chiluya is with the national team. And he has been given a nod. This is a golden opportunity that Captain should grab with both hands. Look at what Prosper Chiluya did yesterday when he was playing for Chipolopolo. That is the same occasion, same scenario. That was a sweet, juicy, cross that he brought forward and Person Daka had to direct that ball behind the net. This is exactly what Captain should do. If anything, Captain should look forward to do better than what Prosper Chiluya is doing, for him to maintain his position in this lineup. If he continues, to pump those crosses in a very bad way, you might just not see a lot of game time at Red Arrows Football Club.
Talk of Patson Daka, I actually missed his goal, and I haven't really taken time to watch the highlights, but I'm told he scored that goal with a chest.
A chest it was, yes, and a good cross coming from the Red Arrows are left back and cross Pachilwe.
So it's Kafue Celtic who look to get organized. Yeah, that can result into an on-goal. Kasongo.
Interesting it was.
Wow. It's a game of football, such is expected. Good chest down there, but good bad communication as Chilima could not really anticipate that pass coming from the midfield. Chihuahua back to goalkeeper Charles. You got to love how Red Arrows are taking things so easy, not really looking in a panic mood. But one worrying thing about the Red Arrows is that they haven't been able to score more than one goal in many matches. So the goal that you've seen could actually happen just to be the only goal of this game, gentlemen.
It could be the more reason as to why even the technical bench, together with the substitute bench, actually just sitting there looking all worried, because they know to say once these young crooks equalize, it's definitely going to be a very big hurdle to have.
Very worrying situation there for Red Arrows. But talking to the coach before this game, he said it's one thing he's working on to see to it that his strikers start scoring as many goals as possible, because that's the only way a team be able to win. But Kaffir Celtic with an attack, it's those immaturity decisions that will cost a team like Kafue Celtic at the end of the day. The missed kicks, the bad ball control. Yeah, the referee saw that one. Brian was pulled back by Ricky Banda. Kafue Celtic. Chikola. Back to Brian. It's in the middle of the park, trying to find little spaces here and there, building play so smartly and calmly, but always those poor anticipations and poor decisions by these Kafue Celtic players who actually cost them at the end of the day, Steve.
Yeah, like you rightly put it, Brian. I loved the way you expressed yourself. You know, when there was a, some battling in the 18-yard box. Sometimes it is the immature decisions that these young boys are making. They really have to mature. They really need to take responsibility with the decisions they are making on the pitch, because that can either affect the team positively or negatively. Let them take those chances. They are going to remember and regret these chances if they continue playing the way they are playing. Let them get a goal or two for them to be safe. But hey, kudos to Red Arrows that are making sure that they clear their lines all safely.
It's the opposite of what Kaffir Celtic are doing, showing some kind of immaturity in their anticipations. Yet Red Arrows are doing the opposite. Good run of play there by Kafue Celtic, but brought down, and his runner was put to a stop. Chibesa. So Kafue Celtic will have a free kick, not really on a promising point, if you ask me, but at any other given day, a good free kick taker will take advantage. It's Brian with a cross into the 18-yard box. Hands are raised for an handball, but the referee nods it, and the play continues with Brian, who is expected to bring in a cross, bring the ball back. It's Banda, who has come back to reinforce in defense as Kafue Celtic's attacker Richards. Chivesa trying to go through the Red Arrows defense, but it was well checked. Brian, gentleman, has been made busy on this right flank. It's a Kafue Celtic with another opportunity. Shot is expected. The referee says no. It seems like Kafue Celtic have got a lot of fans behind the Red Arrows goal. Raphael.
Of course this is expected because you see these young boys are much more determined and they are now playing much more entertaining match. It's a half pitch it is, and you can see it's now a one-sided affair, even as we have seen 39 minutes of play here at Ngoloma Stadium.
31 minutes gone, and indeed the fans have been given what they deserve in terms of entertainment, as well as quality football, as well as you, our dear viewers at home, or where you are watching this game from, you are also given a quality picture sound from Smart TV, Smart Sports TV. It's Kafue Celtic with a corner kick. Kafue Celtic have actually won more corner kick. Red Arrows, it comes in, but a poor one. Nothing much to threaten Charles and his defense.
So Kafir Celtic's coach in Job Warrior is a very busy man on the touchline. You can see he's busy issuing out instructions to his players and to give them the support they deserve, and that's the more reason as to why they are even now pushing much more harder than they were doing in the first 20 minutes. Despite them having conceded so early in the third minute, that goal coming from Rick Banda, jersey number 28 for Red Arrows, is still going to be an interesting match, and only the scoreboard is going to determine after 90 minutes of play.
So far, the partnership of Chikola and Kangwanda seems to be working very well. Of course, they're having a supportive play from Brian Chilimina. They've really counted for themselves very well this afternoon. Kangwanda leading the Kafir Celtic striking force. Yes, it's Thomas. Steve will keep saying this. It's I don't really know what Coach Joe Wada should be able to do, but there's been a lot of immaturity decision on part of Kafue Celtic. Just look at the pass that Thomas, was trying to do, but really doing it casually.
Very casual, my favorite player in the Celtic team, Thomas Zulu, just number 5. He is nicknamed Yaya Toure. That entails how good he is in terms of playing on the middle of the park. I don't know, maybe today he might not be at his best, but if you watch the games that he has played before, trust me, Thomas Zulu is one of the players that are going to go places, if not going to Europe. This is a player who, to me, is some kind of complete, but maybe due to some kind of support from his teammates, sometimes it's on and sometimes it's off, but he is that kind of a very beautiful and enterprising player.
Yes, it's got the height of Yaya Toure, but quality of play,
exactly like
question.
Yaya Toure. Whoa!
Actually, another goal for Red Arrows. That has come again from nowhere, as Steve was actually complimenting Thomas Zulu.
It's yet again Brian Rick Banda with a brace. That cross came from George Mandu, another enterprising player like Raphael had mentioned earlier on. Beautiful cross, it came from nowhere. No one expected that goal to go beyond the ball to go beyond the net, but that's exactly what happened. So it's a brace for Ricky Banda.
From the commentary point of view, I should have hijacked you as you were explaining, but because none of us here expected that to result into a goal, and so we were just on our low tone. in as far as the commentary is concerned. So it's 2 for Red Arrows, 2 for Ricky Banda. A good replacement for James Chamanga is proving this afternoon.
So we have seen 44 minutes of play in this first stanza of the match. Of course, Red Arrows being aware of the excitement that comes with the young lads. That's the more reason as to why they are giving them the whole space to actually have fun on the pitch. But what do? They just capitalize on these simple and silly mistakes that these young boys make. And Rick Banda, it is a brace for him, which is a very good start for him, considering that experienced James Chamanga is sitting on the bench.
And 4 minutes sooner to be indicated by the fourth match official. Being a coach, Steve, I don't know what he would have been thinking. Kafue Celtic launch an attack that can result into a goal. Yes, it is. Kafue Celtic grab or pull one back. This really proves to be an interesting encounter. Just before half-time, Kafue Celtic have put one back through jersey number 28.
It's Christopher Piri at BMJ, who is a newcomer. He actually came because of an injured player who was rushed to the hospital, and he has been combining very well with Albert, and now he has found the back of the net. Exactly what you are talking about. Kafue Celtic are coming up with a lot of chances, but the maturity part of it is what is disadvantaging them. Kudos to Piri Christopher, who has put one for Kafue Celtic.
Now we got the game on our hands. Yeah, Red Arrows. Let's see how they react to this now, because obviously this puts more pressure on them and more motivation to the young Kafue Celtic. I would say that goal resulted into an elapse in Arrow's defense. They could really, handle Christopher very well. A cross comes in for Red Arrows, but Chisala was in that box and made sure that everything is under control. Ricky Banda. He will get that one for the second time. That time,
Well, what a good technique, if you ask me. It was not too strong a ball, but very, very good technique and very beautiful player from a player who is sitting on a hat trick. Talk of Ricky Banda.
So Kangwanda with the long ball there into the 18-yard box. Yes, a dummy. It's always that playing to the gallery kind of play that will cause. I think a time like this, it's no time to play with the ball like that when you're supposed to, put the ball behind the net.
So this is exactly what separates the two in Albert Kangwanda and Felix Blair of Red Arrows. When you look at Felix, he is dancing on the ball, good dribbles, and of course ensuring that a perfect cross is delivered into the 18-yard box for the likes of Rick Banda to pounce on and ensure that the team is leading by 2-1. But credit goes to young Crocs as well. I love the way they've reacted. When you are 2-0 down, you ensure that you keep on going with self-motivation, and that's how come they've even managed to pull one back, and we can only wish them the very best.
Achitata with the ball, cross comes in, Ricky Banda raising his legs. The intention was to kick the ball, but he kicked the defender. Another cross. Thomas should be able to deal with that one decisively. Wow. That could have been a very good move if it was rugby.
at that point, BMJ, you need to give credit to the ref, because the player for Red Arrows was trying to, to lobby for a penalty, but the referee was equal to the task and did not give a wrong penalty. So I'm sure where these referees are making very good decisions, let's talk about them, let's appreciate them, and condemn them when they make those wrong decisions.
Referee has been on the edge of every bad comment regarding poor officiating in Zambia. It hasn't been the best of the season for referee so far, according to local fans. Each and every game has recorded dishonor and doing on part of officiating.
What an acceleration from the line. Like a Mercedes-Benz against a Corolla, if you asked me.
He is obviously looking for a new name. We give him Auteza. Because so the center match referee says enough is enough. The first 45 minutes has come and gone here at Lusaka's Nkoloma Stadium. It's Red Arrows that leads Kafue Celtic by 2-1. Goals coming through from Ricky Banda as well as Christopher Piri from Kafue Celtic. Obviously, the second half promises us much more fireworks in as far as this afternoon encounter is concerned. We take a little break, gentlemen, as we sip some water, and as we come back, it's action as expected. We thank you so much, those that were with us, the likes of Josephat, Jerry, Stephen, Adele, Roy, Mwale, and many others who've joined us online. Join us after a few minutes on your #1 online sports channel, Smart TV. Game we are.
Please, boss, forgive me, I've got to go. Today, there is Ebola, me no appetite. Today, maybe just after Bola. Guys, quickly, sanga, me wants to go see Ebola. There is tension in the city. There is pressure everywhere. Polito, Master Dribbler, Katambe Bola ine, Katambe Bola.
3 goals between the two sides. Obviously, Red Arrows, the home side, leading Kafir Celtic by 2 goals to 1. The 2 goals for Red Arrows came through Ricky Banda, as well as the only goal for Kafir Celtic so far at halftime came from the substitute Christopher Piri. A lot that can be said and a lot that has been seen on the field of play, but let's hear from the two gentlemen what they've been able to write on their report cards in the first 45 minutes. I'll begin with you, Raphael. What do you make of the first 45?
Entertaining first 45 minutes it was. Of course, looking forward to having yet another 45 minutes. So I love the way Young Crocs are actually playing, despite them being 2-1 down. So they have that determination in them. They have the courage, self-motivation. I saw them pushing each other on the field of play. And of course, it's sad that we have seen one player being driven to the hospital because of that head-on collision he had together with Treza Shibwaba of Red Arrows. But a blessing in disguise it was for Christopher Piri, pouncing on that rebound and ensuring that his team manages to pull one back.
Manages to pull one back. Obviously, there's been a twist of things here at Nkoloma Stadium, and as far as first 45 minutes is concerned, Steve, what do you make of the first half so far?
Quite interesting first half we have had. I think for me, Red Arrows are bringing in, the skill and the experience, and this is what is lacking with the Young Crocs. The Young Crocs have the skill, beautiful skill if you ask me, but what is missing with the Young Crocs is that maturity, the mental of it. That is why they are making schoolboys mistakes that have costed them. Trust me, Red Arrows has had only 2 chances, and those 2 chances have counted. How many chances do we need to have witness on the side of Kaffir Celtic before they direct the ball, before they are behind? They've had more than 5 chances and only 1 goal. On the other side, it is Red Arrows with 3 chances and 2 goals. So this can tell you that Red Arrows have a lot of maturity on the pitch compared to the other side of Kafue Celtic.
The goal scorer, Ricky Banda, has actually counted himself very well in this game. A good replacement for a good cover up for James Chamanga. Red Arrows seems to have, a good strike in the making.
Of course, Red Arrows, they possess quite a number of quality. Look at James Chamanga, of course, a regular starter. We also have Adido Kayembe sitting on the bench. He is also quite a very good striker for them. So Rick Banda, a youngster being given is such an opportunity, he should actually be received with both hands, and that's the more reason as to why he's actually sitting on a hat trick.
Going into the second half, gentlemen, before we take a short break, drink some bottles of water. What is it that Kafir Celtic should be able to do to make sure that they come back into this game? They look like a team that really is determined to even win this game.
I'll start from the back, Brian. What Kafir Celtic has to do is to make sure that they don't concede going forward. If they concede, they are going to disadvantage themselves. I think they have the ability not to concede in the second half, and then they should work on those chances that they are creating. Football is about scoring goals. It's about defending. You ensure that you don't concede goals and you score yourselves. So what they need to do this time around is to make sure that they utilize the chances that they are making. If they come in the second half with that maturity kind of play, they are going to concede more goals, and that is going to disadvantage them yet again. For me, I love the fighting spirit that the Kafir Celtic team is having. So like Raphael said, they have pushed themselves on the pitch. That is the positive part of it. But again, talk of Red Arrows, gentlemen. Red Arrows is that big team that knows what they're looking for. The fact that they're representing Zambia in terms of CAF games tells and speaks volumes. All right. So the maturity part of Red Arrows is a plus. That is what is disadvantaging the Kafue Celtic. Kafue Celtic, very good in terms of skill, but they lack at the maturity. Look at their Albert Singwana, for example. He goes in the box and he dances with the ball more than unnecessary times. Compare it to Felix Blaya, who when he has the ball, puts those crosses that are too dangerous in the box. That is how they resulted into those 2 goals. It should actually be 3 goals. Remember Rick Banda missing that free header alone in the box. So Albert should learn something from Obulaya. That's all. If Kafue Celtic has to score ball, let them come in the second half with that desired maturity.
For Red Arrows, what should they do in the second half to make sure that the lead is extended or even maintained?
I understand they are being a lot more cautious, because when you look at the log standing, they are sitting 15th on the table, and that's being in relegation. So they desperately need maximum points to actually get themselves out of the relegation zone and possibly push themselves to somewhere 8th or 9th position. So that's the more reason as to why they are being a lot more conservative in terms of going forward, and they are now using the likes of Felix Blaya to actually bring in the pace which they actually need this time around. But again, let them be reminded that the Crocs are equally determined and pushing, bringing in their much needed efforts to ensure that they equalize. So Red Arrows are not entirely supposed to sit back. Let them also try to bring in the likes of James Chamanga so that he could be contained by at least 1 or 2 defenders. That would actually give them a very good numerical advantage.
Gentlemen, I'll let you go and have some refreshments as you wait for the second half and the second 45. To you, our dear viewers, stay glued and stay tuned, because very, very shortly we should be able to go back on the field of play as our players are already walking back on the field of play. Remember, this is a Smart Sports TV, your #1 online sports channel. Like our page as well as share our live broadcast. Let's now shift our attention on the field of play.
Please, boss, forgive me, I've got to go. Today, there is Ebola, me no appetite. Today, maybe just after Bola. Guys, quickly, sanga. Me wants to go see Ebola. There is tension in the city. There is pressure everywhere. Boliro, Master dribbler, Katambe bola ine, Katambe bola. kalipa tinga kalipe baba kumago kalipa kumasira kumabola efe sisira bola sisira baba bola bola bola. Bring it on. Bola 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 bola.
Welcome back to Lusaka's and Koloma Stadium, the home ground for Red Arrows, the Airmen, who are taking on Kafir Celtic this afternoon in week 14 brought forward fixture. Red Arrows are leading Kafue Celtic by 2-1. What an entertaining first half that we've had here. Fans, both young and old, have come to witness this interesting game of football this afternoon. What more, with an excitement that was showered upon Zambians yesterday with that victory over the senior national team, the Chipolopolo. Goes from Patson Daka as well as Fashion Sakala. But today we are at Nkoloma, obviously just having a dessert to that. And this game is brought to you live by Smart Sports TV, your #1 online sports channel. And I'm your match commentator, Brian Muda Jr. BMJ. With me in the commentary box is Steve and Raphael. Gentlemen, welcome back to this second 45. Obviously, a lot is expected over the two teams, as Red Arrows already made a change. James Chamanga coming in, as well as Alido, who've actually come to reinforce that striking department. Your expectation over the next 45 minutes, Raphael?
Thank you so much, BMJ. It's good that we're back, and of course looking forward to having yet another entertaining 45 minutes. We have seen Joseph Piri being withdrawn and bringing on Alido Kayembe. This to me implies that Red Arrows are actually pushing more, and they are looking forward to bringing much more firepower up front. That's how come even just number 29 has been 21, I beg your pardon, in Edward Tembo has equally been introduced.
So it's a triple changer for Red Arrows, and here they go for the second half. Already Bob pumped forward, trying to find James Chamanga and Alido Kayembe. But well checked there by Kafue Celtic defense. You got to love this defense of Kafue Celtic.
So surprising enough, a striker in Ricky Banda, who was actually sitting on a hat-trick, has been withdrawn for the likes of James Chamanga. I don't know what the coach is thinking, but of course he knows best because he's equally found with his boys even during training. But let's see what the trio in Chamanga, Alido Kayembe and Edward Tembo are actually going to bring to the table.
Kafue Celtic with an attack, but that has resulted into a goal kick. Of course, Brian now operating from the other side of the pitch. He has been one of the busiest player, if you ask me. Brian Chilimina, one of the enterprising player in the Zambian football circle. Really, the future of Zambian football looks so bright when you see the talents in these young players who are coming up, especially in teams like Kafir Celtic. Of course, we cannot talk of Patson Daka and Enoch Mwepu without adding the name Kafir Celtic.
Exactly, Kaffir Celtic did everything possible to see to it that Patson Daka as well as Enoch Mwepu are playing in the Premier League. Kudos to Lee Kawanu, the president of the team, who has made sure that not only those players are going to end up being in Europe, but a lot more. All they need to do is to work hard, and they'll see themselves there. Actually, not to talk about Patson Daka as well as Enoch Mwepu, it was actually Sambalungu that was taken to Russia by Lee Kawanu. So there are a lot of more players that have been taken to Europe by Lee Kawanu, the president of Kafue Celtic. Kudos to the man. He has the heart for the football and is helping a lot of youths.
Lee Kawanu has really played the fatherly role in developing these young players. The names are that you've just mentioned, Steve. Of course, you'd wish you have 10 more people of Lee Kawanu's caliber. Would actually be shocked how many stars Zambia can produce as Alido. Red Arrows almost benefiting from that. It was actually Felix Bulaya who wanted to take advantage of that tussle of a ball in the middle of the park, Sampa, Albert. It's Red Arrows now, taking things so slow. It's Bulaya with Inale Kayembe. What an opportunity. Already showing some intention, aggressiveness in front of goal. Alido Kayembe. If there's
one thing I've been really loving to watch BMJ is to see the combination of Edward Tembo, Saddam Piri, as well as Felix Bulaya. This combination on the middle of the park can destroy any other team. The Kaffir Celtic really have to worry about this combination. Already you saw how the passes were moving and what resulted in those passes.
It's a long throw in there for Red Arrows, a flicker.
So I also love the way Elvis Bisong has been playing, and he is one player we haven't really really paid much particular attention, but he's been there marshalling the defense and ensuring that he is also pushing up front to ensure that his team is in a stable situation. But what brings worry to me is the Kafue Celtic's goalkeeper in Kasongo. He is not really commanding his lines. He is allowing these Red Arrows players to actually be found in the box and him waiting for those reflexes, which he is not even good at when it comes to saving.
Right, Bon Boy Kaonga watching all the way from Lilongwe, Malawi. Thank you very much. You will do us a favor also by liking our page and share this live stream. Of course, one Esnat Piri Mukanda all the way from Mfurila as well, joining the live stream as Kafue Celtic Kangwanda with an attack there. Obviously, it was expected that he would go down.
Fooling the referee is a crime in the game of football, BMJ. Referees should actually be cautioning such moves because you just can't dive. What if he makes a wrong decision? The blame will be on the referee. So whoever fools the referee by diving when they're not supposed to dive, especially in the box, they are supposed to receive a punishment in form of a card.
So off the pitch, credit must be given to the person actually in charge of the scoreboard. He's actually doing a very good job there. I can see the home team leading by 2-1. So this is actually a very good job coming from the other technician out there.
Okay, and talking of the scoreboards, gentlemen, there's been a loud cry out there to say, actually a good suggestion I feel, where a team like Red Arrows will have all the names of the teams participating in the league that particular season year, have their names printed on PVC kind of material or anything, so that in a case like this one where Red Arrows is playing Kafir Celtic, you just pick that printed material, written Kafir Celtic this side, and of course the home side will always be Red Arrows. That can be permanent.
Beautiful idea, brilliant idea. I think that is going to add more flavor to the stadium, and that's the way forward to go, because it's a development on its own.
So I can see two Kafir Celtic players equally changing on the substitute bench. I understand Job Wadia is trying to infuse and bring in some fresh ideas onto the field of play, because them actually trailing by 2-1 should bring worry to the coach, and these same tactical changes are equally very much important.
So one of the two players, actually the two players are Wadia Tembo as well as Pumulo Siwanga. We hope that we wait and see what impact these two players, Tembo and Siwanga, will be able to bring into this Kafue Celtic side, who looks so determined to actually come back into this game. Wow, Thomas with a harsh defending play.
So Edward Tembo slowly becoming a menace in the middle of the park. This is exactly what happened yesterday, even when Klings Kangwa, just number 22 for Chipolopolo, was brought on, replacing Alawi Kamtachabwadi. So Edward Tembo now also trying to bring in the needed creativity in the middle of the park. Of course, Kafue Celtic equally being aware of what exactly Edward is capable of bringing.
Exactly, the likes of Kangwanda, they are pushing Thomas.
Look at that beautiful play, that combination that I've been talking about. Saddam, Felix, as well as young Edward Tembo. I would love to see how Red Arrows are going to play this afternoon. Check that brand, check that flex. This is beautiful football that we're witnessing this afternoon.
I like the way you speak with passion on these three players that you've mentioned, Steve. Really a good exchange of pass between the two players on the middle of the park. That should actually encourage many of Red Arrows faithful who have turned out in number. We only hope that the heavens won't disappoint as the clouds have covered this Charleston's Lusaka Nkoloma Stadium. seems like it will be running pretty soon. So Kafir Celtic finally making their change, bringing in Wadiatembo as well as Pumulo Siwanga. Already coming off is the jersey number 15 in the name of Chisala John.
So watching is Sylvester Sakala all the way from Ndola. Thank you very much for joining us, Sylvester Sakala. And of course, Stephen Andile watching from Makeni, Konga. I think this one is a police officer. I should know this gentleman. Thank you so much for joining us, Buana. Keep watching and keep loving Smart Sport TV.
Kafir Celtic with an attack already into the 39th about that Demi. Look at that. What is he thinking? Honestly,
about maturity and nothing but maturity.
How about Kangwanda, gentlemen? He's been doing that all day long this afternoon.
He did almost everything perfectly well, but look at that final shot, ending up hitting and Fraser Shibwabwa, just number 5 for Red Arrows. But a good run coming from Albert Kangwanda.
Well, Kafue Celtic really needs to take opportunity and advantage of such chances that comes their way. Otherwise, they will be punished. A long throw in into the 18-yard box.
So the heavens are slowly opening up here at the Nkoloma Stadium of Chelsea in Lusaka.
And geographically, this area is actually always very, very rainy whenever it's rainy season. Good exchange of passes.
Beautiful play.
It's Kafue Celtic. A good flair of football they are known for. 1-2 there. Sakangwanda. A good ball control, but not really good to actually go past the Red Arrows defense.
So Samuel Mugala says, Kafue Celtic. Kafue Celtic, sure. Who does that? I'm sure he's talking about, Albert, who had a lot of unnecessary damage in the box.
Yes. There they go again. A cross will come in, almost resulting into an own goal.
So perfect clearance coming from Elvis Bisson. So Kafir Celtic looking much more determined this time around, and I know and understand that it could be the new changes that have been brought on and effected by their head coach in Jogwa.
I agree with you. I am loving the jersey number 7 that has come on the pitch. I think he's detecting play for Kafir Celtic. Very good player. He's playing with purpose. I think that he has also brought some life in this game.
Wadiatembo is the name.
Oh, well, Wadiatembo is the name. I'm correct. Thank you very much, Brian.
Kafue Celtic who seem to be on top of things in this second half. So there he goes, Wadiatembo. What an enterprising player that seems to be Thomas
Yaya Zulu.
Good
shot by a defender. Deflected for a corner.
Some confusion there. Obviously the Red Arrows feel badly done there, but feel it was an infringement on their player. But the referee's decision has always a final.
No matter how much you complain, BMJ doesn't add up. His decision is final, just like you have said.
So a corner kick is going to be taken by Albert Sampa, just number 17. And of course cleared, but still Albert Sampa trying to amend matters, even as Albert Kangwanda is trying to beat experienced James Chaman.
And so finally the heavens have opened. Obviously this will somehow disturb a game, especially to the fans who have come in numbers here at Nkoloma Stadium to offer their support to the respective clubs. Talking of Red Arrows and Kafue Celtic.
So, Nakos Nobet says, watching from Garden Sidmore, thank you so much, Nobet, for joining us. Please do share our link.
So Kafir Celtic will launch another attack. A hard shot and low to the 18-yard box of Red Arrows. That foul there, says the referee. Foul on Saddam.
So good intention coming from Chilimina, just number 6 of Kafir Celtic. But of course, Treza Shigwagwa doing the best together with Elvis Bisong, even as he is busy looking for options.
James Chamanga looked to be found, but he's well marked there. Thomas. So the ball on the left. Kafir Celtic will try to push on this part of the pitch. Really an interesting encounter that we're having this afternoon. Kafir Celtic, will they come back into this game?
Look at Waliatembo.
With 24 minutes that have gone so far in the second half. Chigola. Thomas will have that one easy. Displayed on the middle of the park to Samba. Wow. It got to be understood, obviously. It's not really expecting that pass, but as a player you need to be always alert.
The song to Shibwawa Treasure. Saddam.
So, okay. So we'll just take things a little bit easy. This Red Arrows really need to score if they are to stay comfortable in this afternoon encounter. Thomas up against James Chamanga, the legendary AFCON winning. That was 2012.